How do power relations affect social inclusion and exclusion? If you've ever wondered how power dynamics influence who gets included or excluded from society, you're about to find out some important answers. Let's break it down. Power relations play a significant role in social inclusion and exclusion. To start, social inclusion is not just about bringing people into the fold. It's also about the distribution of power within those social structures. When we talk about social inclusion, we often overlook the fact that it can sometimes accommodate people to relative powerlessness, rather than challenging the existing hierarchies. For instance, in societies with rigid class systems, like the caste system in India, people born into lower castes are excluded from higher social and economic opportunities. This exclusion is not just a matter of social norms, but is deeply embedded in the power structures of the society. Those in higher castes hold more power and influence, which they use to maintain their status and exclude others. Discrimination is another key factor. Groups that are perceived as threats or are marginalized, such as ethnic minorities, people with mental health issues, or asylum seekers, are often excluded due to the power dynamics that favor the dominant group. This exclusion is not just social, but also economic and political, limiting their access to resources, jobs, and social services. Power relations also affect how policies and practices are implemented. For example, in some societies, cultural practices and traditions can exclude certain groups from participation. Women in traditional conservative societies might be excluded from leadership roles, and people with disabilities might be excluded due to a lack of accommodations and support. The concept of adverse incorporation is also important here. This is when individuals or groups are integrated into society on poor terms, meaning they are included but in a way that maintains their subordinate status. This can happen through labor market restructuring or other economic policies that keep certain groups in lower-paying jobs or in precarious employment situations. Moreover, social exclusion can be a form of resistance. When groups willfully exclude themselves from dominant socioeconomic systems, it can be an act of empowerment against systems that perpetuate inequality. This self-exclusion can be seen in counterculture movements or religious communities that choose to separate themselves from mainstream society. In terms of economic impact, social exclusion can be very costly. For example, in Australia, social exclusion is estimated to cost the economy $45 billion each year. By making society more inclusive, countries can boost productivity, improve employment outcomes, and reduce public health and social costs. So to sum it up, power relations are at the heart of social inclusion and exclusion. They determine who gets access to resources, opportunities, and social participation. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for creating a more inclusive society where everyone has the chance to thrive.